What's up, everybody? It's Mods Cage Radio. I'm out here in Hanford, California. Tell us who you are, my man.
What's going on? My name is Brian Huerta, here from Hanford, California.
Okay, now, Brian, no offense, bro. I've never heard of you. Tell me why I should give a fuck about you.
I was born and raised around here. I was a big part of the WEC before they headed out of town, fought in the very first PFC. Ever since then, kind of went through some life trials, tribulations, like I was saying before, and in the last year I've gotten back on the ball, done a few jiu-jitsu tournaments, a couple of Thai fights. As an amateur, I'm 14-1-2 Thai boxing, and I'm finally going down from heavyweight to light heavyweight in my MMA career. So,
all right, let's start off at the beginning. Born and raised here in Hanford, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did you wrestle in high school or what?
For 1 year I did. I played a lot of football and I got into wrestling towards the end. Kind of wish I would have done that from the get-go, knowing I would have been doing this now for sure.
Do you think that's like the most important skill to have?
It's definitely a huge key to have. You know, having any kind of wrestling, boxing tool under your belt when you start MMA is a step in the right direction above anybody else who's never done boxing or MMA or anything at all. You know, somebody fresh compared to having a wrestling background is going to definitely have an advantage.
Okay. You did a little bit of wrestling. Like you said, you were playing football. One day you just decided to get into MMA. How does that come about and how'd you start?
It's kind of a weird story, actually. Back in 2000, I was at a family reunion. A second cousin from the other side of the family I never met had been doing Thai boxing for about 28 years at the time. Dennis Laurie, actually. I started going to Old Bullard High School in 2001 and taking his classes. I went from there to helping him with his self-defense classes. I was a bouncer here at a bar for a few years. When the fight club came to open, the owner had heard of me, you know, because of my Thai boxing experience, and asked me to come on and teach at the fight club. I did that for a couple years. That's how I met Christian Prentup and everybody through the Palace, and one thing led to another. Next thing you know, I'm taking jiu-jitsu classes with Luis Gonzalez, and I got offered my first fight.
Okay, so how many professional fights have you had?
Just the one at PFC 1. I lost in the third round to Tommy Contreras, which is he was for me a great competitor. I was a little overweight at the time, about 240 pounds. Now I'm about 215, 216. Like I said, on my way to 205. Okay.
Now, you've had quite a bit of adversity over the last couple of years that have taken you a little bit off track. Let's talk a little bit about that.
About a year and a half ago, my little brother was staying with me at my house. Went to wake. It was actually the day of the BJ Penn Sean Shirk fight. Went to wake him up in the morning, and he had passed away in his sleep. He was my only little brother I had, so you know, anybody that knows me out there knows how close him and I were. I actually went and got this tattoo done in memory of him.
Let me get a type of that a little bit. Nice.
And
nice work. Now
thanks.
Get that one for you.
Jason Kilgore, actually, he tattoos in Pismo. That was his first portrait ever, and he blew it out of the water. So, you know, and after that happened, about 2 months after that, I found my grandmother that raised me. She was in a coma. That really threw me in a spiral. You know, I still live in the same house I found my brother in, and it's hard. But you know, in the last year, I've really picked myself up and put myself where I know they would want me to be. You know, my brother was my biggest fan ever, and all I'm focused on now is making him proud.
Okay, and then both grandfathers?
Yeah, they both died. Both of my grandfathers had heart attacks within 3 months after my grandmother died, and then my ex-fiance's mother-in-law, who I was really close with, we buried her last year on my 30th birthday on Halloween morning. So I was a pallbearer in 5 funerals in under about 12 months.
Unbelievable, unbelievable.
Yeah.
Okay, so obviously you've been through an absolutely huge amount of adversity. Most guys would probably hang it up. You're ready to turn it into something positive. Yeah. You're ready to make your debut back into the ring again, my man.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about that. Rumor has you might be fighting a guy that has been on the show a couple of times. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, I got actually got contacted yesterday to fight Rocky Molina. I seen him, seen one of his fights. He's a cool guy. You know, I think I met him once cordially. Hello, how you doing? He fought Mike Martinez, out at the Palace, and you know, he's a great guy. It'd be a great opportunity for me to get back in there. I'm having my knee scoped next Friday, and I'm still kind of planning on probably still taking the fight. I know it's going to be short notice, but it's short notice for him as well. I heard he's coming off a hamstring injury, and you know, we're both going to put on a good show if it happens. So.
Okay, and this is going to allegedly go down at Gladiator Challenge September 19th. Is that the rumor?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, fantastic. Now, have you been training lately? I mean, like, what's your regiment like?
You know, I've been every day I get up and run. I get up at 5:15, 7 days a week, and I go and run. Okay. My cardio's back through the roof. Actually, probably better than it ever was since I was like 15 years old.
Wow.
I go and train jiu-jitsu at the VQ mat room in there with a couple of guys that have been by my side and trained with me for the last 5 years. So I'm kind of going back to basics. I'm really looking for a nice stable team, I guess, to look for, but I'm in between here and Clovis so much, I think AKA is probably going to be my next best bet.
Okay, so where are you currently residing? Are you in Hanford?
Yeah, I live here in Hanford. I'm in Clovis about 3 or 4 days a week because of work. I work for the elementary school, Hanford L and Clovis Unified School District also.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, and so between work right now, school just started back up for the kids.
Right.
I have plenty of time in the day because I get off at 2 p.m., so I got plenty of time to go and train, run in the morning, and do everything I need to do to get ready. So. It's been going good. You know, it was kind of hard at first because, like I said, I didn't have a team. What it took for me to get off my butt was to make those phone calls to the people that I knew before. They understood my situation, and so they've been there for me and stuck by my side through the worst time I've ever had. So.
Okay, so how long since those phone calls till now is there?
What's that?
How long has it been since you made the phone calls to make it happen again?
It's been probably right at a year.
Okay.
Since, you know, my brother and everybody passed. It's been almost a year and a half. So 6 months after that, I picked my head up, and so. But in the last year, I've been focusing on going from 240 to 205. I'm 216 right now, right around there. So
205 is where we want to be at.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, 205. Obviously, if we get that fight in September, a couple of months left in the year, do we see you again, maybe?
Yeah, you know, what I want to do now is hopefully try to fight every chance I get. You know, the PFC's in a really short hiatus right now. They're going to be back using a cage, you know, from what I've heard, instead of the ring. I'll definitely be involved with that as well. I want to try to fight once every few months. As long as I'm not injured, I want to be in there to fight. If I get the call the day before and they tell me, you know, you need to fight tomorrow, I want to be able to take that call and take that fight. So I'll hit it hard for the next few years for sure.
Okay, fantastic. Now, anybody you want to shout out before we let you go, my man?
Yeah, I'd really like to say thank you to Pro Light Signs, to Oscar at Jalisco. He's been great. Jenkins Customs, and my mom, my dad, you know, my whole family and all my close friends. You know, they've been really what's gotten me through all this, and people like you, my man, you keep hope alive for sure.
Right on, right on. Now, if the fans wanted to contact you, sponsors wanted to contact you, how do we get a hold of you?
You know, MySpace, Facebook, your usual communication sites, and I'm taking it old school. I just got rid of my cell phone about a week ago and got a home phone. I'm looking for a pager soon enough. No, but yeah, you know, I'm easy to get a hold of. You know, through Christian Printup, I've kept in contact with him. He's been a great friend through all this also, and other than that, man, that's about it.
All right, well, any breaking news, we'll keep you posted here on Cage Radio. I thank you for taking time with me, my man.
Awesome, thanks, Mott's.
No worries.